Alright, now let's do a Class C. Remember that I told you, be careful about assuming the broadcast address is always going to be 255 in the last octet. That is not true in a Class C subnetted address. We got to be careful about that. So we have this Class C address, 195.12.8, and you come to me and you say, I need 40 hosts. Remember that usually what you're going to get is either I need this many networks or I need this many hosts. If somebody comes to you and says, I need 10 networks with 40 hosts, those numbers don't always go together. So usually what you have to say is, you need to tell me why you need that. What's important? Tell me why you think you need 10 networks. Tell me why you think the 10 networks need to have 40 hosts. Okay? So that you can have a conversation and find out what's important. Okay. So we have had this conversation and we're like, okay, what you really need is 40 hosts. And we're going to find out whether 10 networks and 40 hosts go together. Right? So, first question, 40 hosts, I got to add 2, right? Take into account the addresses I'm not allowed to use. You're telling me, please build me whatever networks, as long as I have at least 40 hosts on those networks. Find the number 40 on your line. Your cookbook says write number 40 in binary. How do you write the number 40 in binary? What's the biggest number I can subtract? 32. So, I really honestly don't care about the rest. I know that it is going to take me 6 bits to write the number 40 in binary. Start here at the back and count 6 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my dividing line. I started with the default mask of 255, 255, 255. What is my new subnet mask? It would be a 1 here and a 1 there. 128, 64 is 192. So my new subnet mask is 255, 255, 255.192. Okay? Y'all alright with that? Really what we're saying is, look, I'm not going to mess with these octets. I am changing where my dividing line is in that last octet. So I'm moving it over. Started back here, because this is host. I'm going to move to the left. My 6 places, new line. Now, this is network. This is network. All of that is host. Start counting in binary, or what's my magic number? 64. So I really could come over here and just start listing addresses, couldn't I? Not going to use the first one. Not going to use the 0 network, correct? So the very first one I'm going to have, 195.12.8.64. What's my next one? What's 64 and 64? 128. What's my next one? 128 plus 64 is 192. Am I allowed to use that? Because it matches your subnet mask? I'm done. You asked me for 10 networks with 40 hosts. I gave you your 40 hosts. I got you 2 networks. I'm done. Same thing applies though. 195.12.8, add 1 to this. Subtract 1 from the next one. What is it?
127.
And subtract 1 more. This is your broadcast address for that network. Notice it does not end in 255. Right? But, if this is what I have up here, sorry. If you add all this up, it's going to be 127. Isn't that all ones in the host portion? That's your broadcast address. Okay? Same thing here. 195.12.8, add 1 to it. What's this one?
120. So subtract from that.
Do you remember the address we're not allowed to use?
Yeah.
So we're not allowed to use this. But it would be the next network, we just don't assign it. So subtract 1 from that. And then subtract 1 again. Sorry, that should be a 5. Right? That's it. That's what you're allowed to give away. Now, every single one of these networks will have at least the 42 hosts that we needed from our 40 plus 2. The question then becomes, though, how many hosts does it really have? There's this formula that you can use. It's 2 to the n minus 2. This n is the number of bits that you're dealing with when you're talking about network side or host side. So n, how many bits on the host side?
6.
6. So this is actually 2 to the 6th minus 2. Do you know what 2 to the 6th power is? No. That was a good guess though. It's up there. Ah, 64. So that's 64 minus 2. I gave you a network with 62 hosts on it. I am going to lay money on this that if you'll subtract 128 from 190, your answer will be 62. Class C is the only time that you can really do that easily because you're not going to cross octets to double check that. Okay. But another way to double check. How many networks would we create? 2 to the n minus 2. How many bits in the host portion? What's 2 to the 2nd power, 2 squared? What's 4 minus 2? How many networks did I give you? You have to know this formula. Okay? You have to be able to figure that out. You will get that question. You're going to get the question of how many networks would it create? How many hosts would it be? If I say to you, wow, I think I need like 8 networks. How many hosts would that be? I'm like, well, it would take me 4 bits. I may lose y'all there if I do that quickly, right? I figure out how many bits it would take me. Where's my line that I need to draw? Now I know how many bits are in the network side, how many bits are in the host side. 2 to the n minus 2, I can tell you how many hosts you're going to get. Okay? The biggest thing there is to notice, wow, I can't just say 255 for the broadcast side, can I? Is it like a little? A little brighter, maybe? Okay. Is it off?
No, sorry.